Oh man, so we'll go back, I guess, very beginning. It was more of
What? So,
my grandfather was a deacon at a church. They were Baptist. My mom, she grew up Baptist as well, ended up going Pentecostal.
yeah.
So it was more the back and forth with the different churches. At that time, I wasn't. It's almost like I knew what was going on, but I didn't really know, I didn't have a relationship at that time. It was more of hanging out with my grandmother. Like, she read the Bible religiously, so that was kind of like, but you didn't have that relationship yet. So before even just growing up, just a product of the environment, and I was just hanging out with my peers and just trying to be a good kid, as they would say. So it really wasn't that long ago. There was a church we went to over in, I want to say it was Live Oak, called Rev. And at the time, me and the family, we were in church every Sunday at this time. There's just a lot of life changes. We knew something had to change, just the way we dealt with day-to-day life. And we finally got locked into a church, and we all got baptized as a family. Really understood what the having what was this like? It was a favorite saying I heard was, you don't get better before you go to a doctor, right? You don't you don't do these certain things in order to go somewhere to get the help you needed, right? So it was similar to the sermon today. It was like everything doesn't have to be perfect before having a relationship with God. You get with Him, and everything else will fall into place. So I want to say that was probably 2018, 2019 is when I was wholeheartedly understood what having a relationship with God was, and that's where everything changed from there. I used to always fear, or maybe going off a little bit, but I used to fear that I would never hear God's voice. I always hear people say, God spoke to me, and I felt like I always did. I sinned so much that I was forgiven, like I was no longer a part of God's family. And I was bawling. This was even after we started going to this church all the time. It's like, man, I think I messed up. I'm never going to hear His voice. I don't think He's ever going to talk to me. And it was almost like, all the weight of the world was on my, I couldn't breathe. I'm just like this is it. I am already condemned to go to hell, and I wouldn't say it wasn't audible, but it was just something read my word. And just like that, it was a breath of fresh air. And I want to say at that time is when I knew it was you always hear those sayings, there's power in the name Jesus. And that's the most truest thing I could ever speak to someone right now. So that was a good turning point for me as well. The fight is still there. I want to say it's more of a fight than anything, but I want to say the things that we come across on a day-to-day basis, even what me and my wife we'll call a heated fellowship, we handle it totally different. Things that we would just go to war over is, it's done totally different. It's like, hold on, need a minute, and literally pray before we have these talks. Or even if we do have our heated fellowship, it's afterwards we come, we just handle things so much differently. Even with our child, everything around us is handled differently. Now, is it still hard? Is it still a struggle? Oh yes, there's still times where you got to catch yourself. But I want to say that's the best feeling with having a relationship with God, is being able to catch yourself in that moment, and that's times I was like, I'm still sinning, I'm still saying this, still doing that. And but the fact that you get upset with yourself and you get that, what's the word I'm looking for, conviction. I feel a lot more conviction, and for me it's almost like pruning, pruning the rose bush. Every time you feel that, it's like, okay, I know this isn't right. I know, so to me it feels good. It's almost like sharpening your sword. It's a painful thing to grind down at your, but you're always going to come out better on the other side. So right now it's just the way it happens. Just being able to just look at life differently and handle hard times differently, knowing that we now have a relationship with God and just being in the Word. I just want to show people, like, man, it's amazing having a relationship with them, and you just really be surprised at what God does to you. And if you actually sit back and look at, I'm gonna backtrack it real quick. It's pretty cool. It's like all those times I was telling you, those times I'd never heard his voice, whatnot. And then as I got the relationship with him, I started looking back at my life, like, man, there are so many situations that I should not have lived through. It is literally by the grace of God that he was there, and it's like, we're here for a reason. You'll see how God works in the wildest ways for you. But I don't know, man. It's, for me, it's like I said, at the end of the day, it's just be set apart. That's what I'm still working on right now. Be the light. It doesn't matter what anybody else is going through, man. I accept them in,